How's it going, Goomy Gang? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Me, I'm a little sad because I just heard the news about the H2M mod from Modern Warfare 2. I'm very upset about that, but that's a topic for another day. This particular video, we're going to be talking about the conversion kit for the KV Broadside again, which, if you don't remember, is called the JAK Jawbreaker. And what it essentially does is it turns the shotgun into basically an assault rifle, and it's actually really good. And I made a video on it before when it first came out, but it's received basically numerous buffs, not really to its damage or range, but to its aim assist. You can actually work with attachments on the muzzle category now, and there's also other attachments that got introduced into the game that do help this thing out. And honestly, now is a great time to use it because it's actually very solid, all things considered. And so with today's video, I'm going to share with you guys two builds for it, as well as kind of talk about an overview of it. As always, timestamps will be in the description below if you want to hop to a certain part of the video. First, we're going to hop into sim.gg real quick to kind of take a look at what we can expect from this gun and its performance. So here we are on sim.gg. I went and added 4 assault rifles, including the JAK Jawbreaker kit, to kind of get an idea of where it sits in the time to kill and sort of the meta of all of its damage and ranges. As you can see, it's this blue line here, and of course the STG is insanely overpowered. That's kind of an outlier here, but the KV Broadside, it does fall short compared to the BP50's close range time to kill, of course, but where it starts to shine is really this 15-meter range, so like kind of mid to longer ranges. It starts to shine a little bit more than some of these other options, like the SVA, like the BP50. Now, is it head and shoulders above them? Absolutely not. They're all pretty similar, but the conversion kit does have some potential. As you can see here, it does actually have some utility to it. Of course, there's other downsides and things to talk about other than the time to kill, but from a pure time to kill standpoint, it's really not that bad, and it's definitely a good reason to consider using it. Now, of course, there are downsides, like I said, and one of the big things about this thing that is pretty obvious when you first start to use it is the magazine size is basically capped at 20. That is a fraction of what a lot of guns can use. Some can use 50 round mags, some can use 60, some have default 50 or 60. This thing has a default of 20 and you can't put a magazine on it. So that's really bad, and it is pretty noticeable, especially in trios and quads. In solos, it's not as bad. If you're a really good player, you can make work with 20 rounds, let's be honest, but it does hurt it very much so because a lot of people love to have a good magazine size, and this unfortunately just does not have it. Now, on its own, its muzzle velocity too is actually not too bad. Now, the only thing is you can't really put anything on this to increase it. So you have other guns like maybe the MTZ 556, which you can put like bullet velocity attachments on it to get a little bit better. This thing is basically stuck at 750, which isn't too terrible. So it's a pretty solid gun overall. It's just really not that great when it comes to its magazine size, which really does hold it back when it comes to meta. But this is more of a fun niche type of gun to use that actually feels really good, that isn't necessarily meta. As I mentioned before, this did receive a few fixes. Most notably, it does actually have aim assist now at longer ranges, because before this thing had shotgun levels of aim assist, which was only out to maybe the 20-meter mark or so. I can't really remember the exact number, but now you actually have aim assist at ranges, which is really nice for a gun like this. Also, muzzle attachments do work. When I made a video on it last, muzzle attachments didn't actually seem to work on the gun, but now they do, so you can put some good muzzle attachments on it to really help reduce the recoil. And as a side note, this thing does have pretty manageable recoil, and all things considered, it's really nice visually, and it's not super obstructive. I actually have an iron sight build that I've been using for more medium range engagements, and the recoil isn't really super bad, but overall it's very controllable, and it's just a very comfortable feeling gun that if you haven't used, I definitely encourage you guys to try it out because it is a lot of fun, and with the builds I'll show you, they're actually pretty useful. So for the first build I have for you, this is an iron sight medium range build, so it's going to have a little bit better mobility and handling, but it's also going to have some recoil control that's pretty nice. Now, I'm rocking the ZEM 35 compensator. You could rock something like the Cassis brake, but I found that this one just helps a little bit more in the vertical and horizontal recoil control department, which I like, so I went with this one in particular. We also have the paracord grip, which is another new attachment we have that's very good because it helps with our sprints of fire speed as well as some recoil gun kick, which is really nice. Now, I'm also rocking the Chimera laser. That's to get better sprints of fire speed and aim down sight speed, and then we have the TrueTac grip because why the hell not? We're going to give ourselves some better handling. Now, this other build is more catered towards longer ranges. Again, we're rocking the ZEM 35 compensator, but this time we're rocking the Bruin heavy support grip for a little bit better recoil control. We are rocking a sight. It'll be a sight of your choice, whichever you feel most comfortable with. I just felt like the Nidar model 2023 felt pretty nice, so I was okay with using this one. And then we're rocking the Demo X2 grip for a little bit better recoil control. This thing doesn't really shake much at all. It feels really good, and again, it's just a gun that feels solid in your hands. It doesn't have a super fast fire rate, but again, it just just feels very comfortable. I think you guys can get the hang of it. The only thing to watch out for is, yes, it only has 20 rounds, so that can doom you in a lot of situations, but it is a lot of fun, and I encourage you guys to try it. Now, that's pretty much going to do it for this video, guys. So there's 2 builds for you. There's some just general info on a gun that nobody really talks about, so go try it out, go use it, and let me know what you think. And as always, I want to know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on this build? Do you guys enjoy this setup? Do you guys prefer using the KV Broadside as is and not turning it into an assault rifle? Also, are you sad about H2M like I am? Because I'm heartbroken about it. And with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.
No, man.